In this final round before the closing statement, the candidates will have the opportunity to ask a question of each other. We'll start with Ms. Berry and then Mr. Fox, and each of you will have a rebuttal after that. But Ms. Berry, the first question is to ask Mr. Fox is for you.
Sure. David, throughout this campaign, I think you've been talking to taxpayers and Nashvillians and scaring them a little bit about the city's debt. In his endorsement last week, Governor Bredesen did say that, quote, nothing about the city's debt ought to cause any hand-wringing by any physically conservative people. So can you tell the taxpayers and Governor Bredesen why they're wrong?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because it's extremely important in my view. I think we've developed a kind of a culture of debt and spending in Nashville. You know, there's a time and place for everything. We've added a lot of debt. We've added about $1 billion of debt in the last 6 or 7 years. And what concerns me through this race is some people believe that the only way we have a strong economy is keep on adding to our debt. Well, I think now it's time to tack back. You know, our debt was downgraded 18 months ago. I take that seriously. It's still a high rating, so it's not time to, you know, the sky is not falling, but we have to understand to be good managers and to leave something that we're proud of to the future. You know, it's time to tack back. Let's spend a little bit less money, and we can do that. It doesn't have anything to do with austerity, as you said before. I'm for growth. We have benefited so much from growth in this city. But I think the growth of municipal spending is the issue, and the growth of municipal debt is an issue. So people shouldn't be alarmed unless we don't have a good grip on how much spending we have, and we have, you know, liabilities we need to take care of. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fox. 30-second rebuttal.
Well, I think a minute ago that you mentioned how efficient and effective our Office of Finance is. And I think that if you look over the last 8 years, what we've done is we've invested in Nashville. I think recently you were before a group of business folks and you were asked, what projects would you have not done? And I think your answer was, you would have done them all. So I think when we look at where we've done and what we've invested in Nashville, we've made good choices and we need to continue to grow.
And again, my issue is going forward. We got to make sure that we don't keep on adding to debt the way we're doing now, or we will have a problem. There's a time and place for everything. It's time to sort of tack back, tack out of downtown, back to neighborhoods, and see if we can spend a little less money, let our economy grow into our balance sheet. If we do all of that, we'll be perfectly fine. The next 20 years will be as awesome as the past 20 years.
Thank you. Mr. Fox, do you have a question for Ms. Berry?
Oh, sure do. But it's not a tough one or anything. Megan, you've served in Metro Council for the past 8 years and cast many votes, of course. Which vote, if you could take one vote back, is there one that you would look back and say, well, that's, in retrospect, I wouldn't have done that, or I'd cast it differently?
Well, I think that one of the important parts of being a leader is always to reflect back on things that you voted for and things that you voted against and how that went down. And when I look back on my time on Metro Council, I see a lot of really great votes that we were able to take to move Nashville forward. And when I think about the votes that didn't go so well, actually, I'm proud to say that there are very few of those. I would have liked to have seen the ability to vote to put more money for police officers, more money for teachers, more money for firefighters. Those were the hard votes that we had to make when we were in the recession. And I wish that we could have been in a position at that time, but we were being very fiscally conservative. So what we did is, unfortunately, we were not able to give everybody the raises that they deserved, but now it sounds like we've caught up, so that's good.
Thank you. Any rebuttal?
No, that sounds like a pretty good answer to me.